Hi math students, this video is to help you with your upcoming checkpoint 2.4. Okay, so this one had to do, remember, print this paper out. I attached a picture of this if you want to print it out and fill it in with me, or this one's not very long really. You could just write down the problems on your own paper and fill it in as you go. The choice is yours, but make sure you write these down because it's going to help you for your checkpoint, which is right after this video for that quiz. All right, you can pause the video at any time if you need time to write, and then just push play again when you're ready to go. The greatest common factor. Okay, sometimes we call this the GCF. You'll see it abbreviated, greatest common factor. That is the biggest thing. That's what greatest means, right? Biggest factor that the two numbers have in common. Pause the video if you need more time to write. The biggest factor that the two numbers have in common. So they're going to give you two numbers and say, what is the greatest common factor? The biggest thing they have in common. Okay, and factor, remember we just made factor trees in the last couple lessons. So factors are things smaller than the two numbers, the pieces that make the number. Okay, this is coming soon, so don't get confused. Sometimes people confuse these. Least common multiple. You're going to see that in the next lesson. Not yet. Right now we're talking about greatest common factor, so don't worry about this yet, but it's coming soon. So what is the greatest common factor of 12 and 30? Okay, what's the biggest factor they have in common? So first we need to know what are their factors, right? What numbers make these up? So there's lots of ways that you can do this. You can make a factor tree, or you can just list some factors. So I'm going to do it both ways for you. Okay, so looking at 12, I know 12 is 1 times 12, or 2 times 6, or 3 times 4. Those are the only things that make up 12. Okay, so those are all of the factors of 12. 30, well, that's 1 times 30, or 2 times 15, 3 times 10, no 4, no 5, 5 times 6. Those are all the factors of 30. Okay, so what's the biggest one that they have in common? Well, one they have in common, but that's probably not the biggest. Let's see, 12. This one didn't have 12. 2, okay, so they both have 2. So right now 2 is the biggest. How about 6? Yes, they both had 6. So right now 6 is the biggest. 3, they both had 3, but 6 is still bigger. 4, this one didn't have 4. 15, 10. Okay, so the biggest one they have in common is 6. This one had a 6 and this one had a 6. So the greatest common factor of 12 and 30 is 6. 6 is the biggest thing that they had in common. Okay, 16 and 44. This one I'm going to show you how to do with a factor tree, and then you can pick which method you like. I don't care if you do this one where you list out the factors or if you do a factor tree. I'll show you this one with a factor tree, and then you can pick. So 16. 16 is 2 times 8. 8 is 2 times 4. And 4 is 2 times 2. So my factor tree is right here. There's all my prime factors. I had 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 44 is 4 times 11. And 4 is 2 times 2, with the 2's being prime, and also 11's prime. Okay, so from my factor tree, let's see what factors I have in common. 44 had 2 2's. 16 also has 2 2's. So my greatest common factor would be 2 2's, which is actually the number 4, right? 2 times 2 is 4. The greatest common factor for these two is 4. So you can use your factor tree to see what factors they have in common and then list out your greatest common factor. Or you can make lists like this and actually look at what the number is. So the choice is up to you. I'll just go back to the list method here for this one, and you can choose which method you like. Okay, so for 20, I know there's 1 times 20, there's 2 times 10, 3 doesn't go in there evenly, 4 times 5. Those are my factors for 20. Hey, the reason I stopped at 4 times 5 is because if I keep going 5, it would just be 5 times 4. Then I'm going to end up going back down the list. I don't need to do that. Once I reach the top of that list, I can stop. 90, 1 times 90, 2 times 45, 3 times 30, 4, I don't think 4 goes in there. Nope, 5, 5 times what? 18. 90 divided by 6. 15. So 6 times 15, 7 doesn't go in, 8 doesn't go in, 9 times 10, and that's the top of the list. Okay, so looking for things they have in common. They both have 1 and 2 in common, not 3, not 4. They both have 5 in common. They both have 10 in common, and not 20 or 15 or 18 or 30 or 45. So it looks like 10 is the biggest thing that these two have in common. So the greatest common factor equals 10. Okay, if all of this made sense to you, then you are good to go. Go take your checkpoint right now. If you still have questions on these, you want to see more examples of greatest common factor, send me a text, an email, a call, something. Take a picture of the problem you need help on and ask for another video on it. I'm here to help you if you need it. Otherwise, go take your checkpoint right now.